প্রচুর ফিডব্যাক আসছে। Good evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you. Hopefully, uh, many of you have already come and joined to my live YouTube live class. So this is a secure platform, as you know that uh, since last 1 month we are thinking, especially we the computer professionals must think about the security, the subject what you are studying about the platform. We have to communicate, we have to establish communication within a secured way, as you have uh, heard a lot of softwares which are generally being accused for breaching the security. And so generally the Cisco is a very secure one for the wave conferencing. Cisco is the mother of this domain, so you can use Cisco. But so far the live streaming is concerned, and so a huge data will be exhausted for your site. That's why I was planning how to take a class using an optimized data streaming way, so that you can be live at the same time. You can follow the classes, and the streaming must be of good quality. So just follow the I think all of you are following my lecture notes. I have prepared these lecture notes very uh, uh, very lucid way rather, and if you go through the lecture notes one by one, you will be able to answer the 90 to 95% questions, except some typical ones. For that I have mentioned some reference book. You can follow the Stallings computer means the network security and this cryptography, and Kahate is a very basic book that also you can follow. I think I posted the book, soft copy of book in Google Classroom also. So let us discuss about some basic uh, basic mechanisms of attacks, right? The lecture notes what I provided you in unit 1, the need for security and security approaches. So there is very coincidence, so you have come to know about the need of security. The softwares which are providing this kind of facilities may hack the personal information in several ways, and we, the innocent persons, will not be able to trace how the informations are getting hacked. So that's why the channel must be secured from both the ends, from the sender to the receiver also, so that no unintended intruder can hack and can sense the channel. So in this way there are two kinds of sensing a channel. which we are calling the passive attack and the active attack. What happens in active attack? You will study all the points of which I have mentioned here. These are features of active attack and the features of passive attack. So what is not here in this note, that I am telling you from the real life phenomena. What happens in active attack? The intruder, the third person, the hacker, always tries to sense the channel. Always means it's not possible ideally always to sense the channel, but very frequently they become active and try to sense the channel to hack the information between which are going on between two ends, sender and receiver. But in passive attack, what happens? They have a bit of idea from beforehand that these are the timing. They actually schedule a timing according to some informations that these are the time period within which some important informations may be transmitted, and at that time period they try to sense the channel. This comes with the passive attacks. So if you just follow the points, you will be able to answer what happens actually in active attack and passive attacks. Mainly there are two kinds of attacks, active and passive. And as I told you that in this cryptography subject, two things are important, mainly two things. One is algorithm. Algorithm, as we know that we are having some common and some important algorithms which all of us in the world know about this algorithm. So far the applying the algorithm is concerned to get the information or to hack the informations. It's not that much difficult, but main point is whether the third person unauthenticated persons, means the hackers are able to get the key or not. So key generation is very important. In spite of knowing the algorithm which are being used for the communication, until and unless you don't know about the key, you will not be able to hack the information. So there are so many algorithms, mathematical methods are there to generate key. So always the emphasis has been put on generation of the key. And there is a preliminary idea about the as you know that what is plain text and ciphertext. What happens that using key and the algorithm we generate, we convert a plain text to a ciphertext from the sender end, and the receiver just do it in reverse way. They just convert the ciphertext into plain text. So ciphertext, actually the attacks will be made on ciphertext, and these hackers will be having the ciphertext, but they don't know the key. That's why they always try to break the key. So ciphertext only attacks how many types of cryptography attacks in a broader sense that we have mentioned here. This is the method of or type of the attacks. These all are techniques actually falls under the active or passive attack. Okay, and how many ways attacker can think to break the key, all these are mentioned over here. I am not wasting the time reading just this text. You will get to know sometimes like that brute force attack and birthday attack conditional probabilities are used, right? You can see that if we get to know, sometimes we have a tendency to generate some key or to keep some password like key with the mentioning our date of birth. So date of birth is also an hint, and how from the date of birth the key may be generated. That is also a subject of the attack, that is called it birthday attack. Yeah, I can see that so many of you are in the list, and I think you are enjoying the class. I think you are having no problem so far the streaming is concerned. So let us take the class in this way, and what I will suggest you, I have sent some, I think, question and answer along with the notes, and I will be giving you some assignments tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. You have to answer the assignment on the basis of the question answer. If you just go to the question answer, you will be able to answer the assignments. And we are planning, means this our institute is planning to conduct an online exam on MCQs. That also we are thinking about, and you will be noticed accordingly. So let's continue our discussion, the practicality of attacks. So this notes the question answer and the notes on this topic attacks, you will be able to answer. And I think if you go through the question of last 5 years, the questions are being covered with these topics and with these discussions. So let us continue with our next lecture note. That is basics of unit 2 and set 1, that is introduction, plain text and ciphertext, history of cryptography. You may get some short questions, and on this, and the questions of 5 marks you can get from the history and steganography. You know the steganography, I think many of you know what is steganography. You are, I think some of you are doing your project on this steganography also. It is the embedding of informations in an image and sending the image to the channel. But the challenge is when we will be storing our information to be sent to a picture. A picture means a collection of some pixels. So definitely some pixel informations will be changed accordingly. But it should not be changed to the extent where the third person can guess that the picture has been changed. Third person should not guess about this. So the changed picture, means the picture which has been embedded with the plain text must look like the original picture. That is the big challenge. Otherwise anybody can guess it, nobody can there is a scope for doubt that this picture has been changed, and there must be some important information. So let us experiment with this picture, and let us see whether we can hack the information of this. So this is job of the hackers. So steganography belongs to these mainly, and see here the embedding image. This is a message to be hidden. Here in this is a carrier file, and carrier file is the hidden message. So you cannot feel that much change here. Once the receiver will get the key, they can decrypt the information, the ciphertext to the plain text. Encryption and decryption. From sender end we just call it encryption, and the receiver who decrypts is called decryption. So this is an important domain in crypto systems. Steganography, evolution of cryptography, you just will go through this, and characteristic of modern cryptography. What are the differences between classic cryptography and modern cryptography? Because we are right from the 200 years ago, the people are using cryptography, okay, but in some another form. But the forms has been changed in applying this IT. Actually, you know that in ancient days, what the if a king of a particular state has to send an information to another king or some spy, there are several ways to hide the message. So the carrier will not be able to know about the message, but the receiver will come to know about the message. So what is cryptography? All these, what is scripture is the art and science of breaking the ciphertext is known as cryptanalysis. Okay. So security services of cryptography, confidentiality, data integrity. These are very important. You must get some short notes, and you may get the broad questions also from these features, security features of cryptography. So these you must go through, and you must prepare the points and know little about these several features: confidentiality, data integrity, authentications, non-repudiations, right? And then cryptography primitives, encryption, hash function. Actually these all are these hash functions, and there are so many. I told you there are so many mathematical methods like the modular mathematics, how the hash function can be obtained using some modular mathematics, or some functions, probability functions. So these are the different mathematical calculations we need to perform to generate, mainly to generate the keys. Okay. So the following table shows the primitives that can achieve a particular security service on their own. These are primitive services. Confidentiality, the features: confidentiality, integrity, authentication, non-repudiation, encryption, hash function, MAC, and digital signature. So you can get a comparative study on this, okay, where these features are there and where, in which case this feature is not applicable. So that's all with the today's lecture. So what I am planning, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I think I can let me open the chat box. Yeah, participants, if I can, participants here. Okay, let me see from my another laptop how many of you are present. Yeah. Dipan Satpati, you raised a question. You can chat, you can answer, you can ask me the questions in the chat box. Will any type of math questions will be there in paper? If so, I will provide you the material, not a complex problem, some modular mathematics or some hash function. You will be given the functions and you have to just solve, have to generate the key using that functions. That is enough, not that much complex, so don't get worried about that. Devoshidas, Devoshidas, yes, Devosri. Any questions? Shagni Kundu, all of, how are you? How are you? You are blocked in your home like me, so you are getting bored, right? So nothing doing in these situations. All of our all we have to compromise with this inconvenience. Nothing doing. Koena, any questions from your side? Do you have to encrypt any text? I didn't get. Do we have to encrypt? Yes, there are so many techniques of encryption. You just go through the, if you go through the notes, you will be getting so many techniques, right? How to encrypt a message. And you know that is that RSA algorithm. I think you have studied it and you got a question in your CA2. That's RSA algorithm, how we generate the key. Generally there are two kinds of crypto system. One is that symmetric cryptography, another is asymmetric cryptography. In case of symmetric cryptography, what we do generally, we a single key is used to generate the key. Single key is used to encrypt and decrypt. Encryption and decryption, a single key is used. But in asymmetric cryptography, for encryption and decryption, we use different key. So the process of generating this key with the algorithm you will be getting, and I think I have given some notes. You just go through the notes, okay? And anything else? Sagnik, okay, Sangram Patnaik. Any question? Sangram Patnaik, are you there in the class? So how you are feeling with the class? It's good for you, na? I think data will not be exhausted in that to that extent, because as you know that YouTube generally what does, it always optimizes the data streaming. So you will not get any such software like this YouTube. Always the optimization, the YouTube generally follows the optimization technique, right? So respond. Do you want to continue with this class, this with through YouTube live streaming or not? Only Prerna Jaswal Novi says, yes sir, it's more better than any other app. See, whatever app you use, it's a whatever, but so far the live streaming is concerned, so definitely data streaming, data exhaustion will be there. But what we also think about this, along with the data streaming, the security aspect is there. So that's why always an authentic, we should use a platform from an authentic a brand company like Cisco, this way. So don't use the companies which are just which are opened just 5 or 6 years back. Don't rely on these companies. Anyways, so that's different issue. But if you go to the subject, you will get to know the essence or implications of these breaching of securities. Like say a software which you are using, which the many people are using right from the day one. Means 1 month back, I told some of my colleagues that, see, intentionally that software has not improved the VoIP, voice over IP. Why? That's a great question. If you compare the VoIP, you will get VoIP is the quality of VoIP is not that much, very degraded quality. Okay, why? Intentionally they have not improved this one, because from this voice over IP they can get some personal informations, because the same bandwidth are being used to transmit your personal informations. They may hack your system, they may hack your mobile, all the personal informations, your bank details. So the streaming along with the data streaming, the actual the authenticated data, they are actually getting the information. So same bandwidth is being used. That's why VoIP, quality of VoIP is being degraded. So these are the aspects we are supposed to think, because we are the professional computer science engineer. We are going to be the professional computer engineers. So there must be a different from the students of other streams. Okay, and I think so you just get prepared with the notes and any question, and I repeat, you just follow the question and answer which I have sent recently, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, I don't know. So just follow these notes, and I will be keeping the questions depending on that notes, right? So let us end it. Let us end the session. What do you say? Any more questions from your side? Let us end it for today. I am planning to come after 2 days or 3 days with some another discussion. Okay. Okay, so let us stop the discussion over here. Let us stop streaming, and those who are not able to be on live, they will get the recorded version of this, right? So let us stop streaming here. Thank you, all of you. Be safe and be fine at your home.